What is up, everyone? This is SwordKing090 and this is going to be Operation Bedrock episode 269 to 269th episode of the Operation Bedrock series. A series where my friends and I are going to be mining the entire world until there's nothing but bedrock left except for the floor, of course, because we need something flat to walk on. But currently I am in a nether that I am going to be farming some levels, mainly because I need to get a lot of efficiency 2 books combined to make efficiency 4. 2 and 2 makes 3, 3 and 3 makes 4, and so on and so forth. That a lot of things I really need to do is actually make one of my, 13 pickaxes. I have 13 fortune pickaxes that I need to turn into soak touch pickaxes. But the thing is that they also have efficiency 4, so I'm going to be combining that with a book with soak touch 1 and mending 1, so that I could actually get mending 1, soak touch 1, unbreaking 3, and efficiency 5. It doesn't make sense right here, right now, but it will make sense once I actually go ahead and do that all in a live stream in the near future. Maybe today, perhaps, because if all goes well on my day off, that I should be able to do a live stream today, and that's going to be onto Twitch. That I'm going to be doing a little bit of a live stream of going for just mining up all the resources that I've done in that video that I've shown. I believe it was Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, that there was the video that I showed how many resources we have gone throughout the whole entire East Side project, which was a lot. Mainly, we've got over 17,000 coal. I believe we have 10,000 iron. I'm just pretty much rounding it up and down by the nearest thousand, but just from memory, if it serves me right. Oh wait, I still have that paper right here. Okay, that's cool. That we had 17,965 coal, 10,344 iron, 3,074 redstone, 1,161 gold, 501 lapis lazuli, and 389 diamond ore blocks that we've gone from at least a good 2.5 million block area of just in that whole section alone. As you see on the map on the east side right there, that whole gray area, that is how much resources we have gone from that whole entire section. But I will be making a live stream of just going ahead and just mainly getting all the levels from that, combining all the books, combining all the tools, fixing up some of the tools that I have need to be in repair, and then hopefully be able to make some more enchantments along the way. And I've already decided we're going to go ahead and save 1 chest full of coal, 1 chest full of redstone ore, 1 chest full of iron ore, and hopefully get a chest full of gold ore and lapis lazuli ore, which lapis lazuli is going to be one of the more difficult ones. And of course, at least I'm going to go ahead and get 1,000 diamond ores so that I could at least have something to use as a backup if I needed to actually use that as a backup, which I highly doubt. But mainly it's going to be for you guys whenever we actually get finished with the world and then put it up for download, and then you guys could have this world and also get the resources that have been saved for you guys. You could just mine them up, you could build with them, whatever you want to do, it's all up to you guys. But it's kind of funny that I say that, mainly because, of course, with the topic of this video, if you guys want to see what the title is right there, that I'm wondering, I need to know, should we actually transfer this whole entire world into Bedrock Edition? I've been thinking about this for weeks, and I am thinking just no in my thought process here, which I will explain in a bit. But for those who want to know that we're able to actually do that, I actually wanted to make a clickbait video, but then I figured out that we could actually save it. Well, all because of Steve, MrInflammable. Yeah, Steve, you know him, that he has already brought up the idea of making this world from the classic world of 864 by 864 to a small world. And from a small world, we could actually transfer that onto Bedrock, and it would actually save the world itself. In the sense that if you were to go to classic mode and then go to Bedrock, it would completely ruin what you have going already, because what it would do is that it will actually merge, I believe, 8 to 10 blocks from the edge and merge that with the rest of the infinite world. But on Bedrock, or Operation Bedrock, this is going to get a little bit confusing here, but in Operation Bedrock, it is completely and utterly ugly that I will have to make a video about it just to show you guys how bad it is. For those who've already seen a live stream of it, then you already get to see the idea of how bad it looks, but I still need to make a whole entire video to show you guys that this is one of the main reasons why I didn't want to go to Bedrock Edition. But of course, with again what I said earlier, that Steve had figured out an actual method of putting the world onto onto Bedrock Edition while maintaining the actual walls that I've already had built and spent so much time working on. But the only problem is with that is that once we actually get to the Infinite world, it kind of undermines the whole idea of Operation Bedrock. Operation Bedrock is supposed to be where we completely mine out the entire world, where of course we're going to have the walls to block out the ocean, but then of course it's going to be just this one huge just hole in the ground in that aspect, that it was just a barren wasteland of just stone and I was about to say cobblestone, but that's not the right word. It was the actual bedrock and stone, and then of course you have the 4 walls. That in itself was what Operation Bedrock was all about. But for me to put it onto Bedrock Edition, it would actually just mean that it's going to be this giant hole in the ground compared to everywhere else in the infinite span of the land of that is Bedrock. If you were to say PC is kind of the same thing as Bedrock, but of course it's not exactly the same. We're catching up a little bit by little bit, but mainly it is that it kind of ruins Operation Bedrock in its core of its whole entire meaning, that we're just mining the entire world and then you have nothing left to actually mine out. So if we were to put it onto Bedrock with the infinite world that it is, it would just completely ruin it for me. That's just my opinion. It would ruin it for me, which the only bright side about it is that of course we will have the future updates. We'll have every single update. The world will just keep on updating and updating and updating. But just the con of it all, just the bad part of it all is just it just doesn't look as impressive in that aspect. I know I probably am overthinking it, but I just need to know from you guys, should we actually transfer the world onto Operation Bedrock? The only sad part is that we cannot actually go back and forth. Is that if we were to put it onto Bedrock Edition, it would have to be a permanent decision that we would have to do all the rest of our progress onto Bedrock Edition. Although, the only thing I could actually just think of is that I could just keep a copy of it on Bedrock Edition. For whatever reason, if the Xbox One console just doesn't work anymore, like I said, for whatever reason, then I could actually go back to Bedrock Edition and then work from then on forth. But the only problem is again, I could only work on either one world or the other world, since there would be technically 2 different worlds, one on the Xbox console and then one on Bedrock Edition. But that is where another thing that I am just so torn about, that for me personally, I know this is going to be more biased than anything, but I still want to know from you guys, is that for me, is that if it's just one or the other, I cannot choose. I legitimately cannot choose. I want to stay on the Xbox One, because mainly, like I said, is that it will keep the classic size. The only complaint that I have about Bedrock Edition is if the fact that you cannot have a choice to whether or not to stay as a classic world or if you want to automatically go to infinite, because it doesn't give you a choice. It completely just makes your world and turns it into an infinite world. If it allowed you to stay as a classic world, like what we see on this version of Xbox One, I would be all for going to Bedrock Edition. I would totally support going to Bedrock Edition if it meant for me to keep my world as it is. No changes whatsoever. But sadly, that is not the case. I've already tested it out a few times. Unless somebody else is able to help me out on that one, to where they could actually have the world as is, 864 by 864, no expansion, nothing along the matters of that, then I would just jump on that Bedrock bandwagon. But until then, I am still stuck on the Xbox One, and I don't want it to be where it's going to be too late. So the only thing that will help me out is that I will be periodically pretty much transferring the world onto Bedrock Edition just to keep that updated, because I've been told that we won't be able to do it for whatever, like I don't know when exactly, but as far as I know from what they've told me is that you wouldn't be able to do this anymore in a time being in the near future. So I have no idea when you're not going to be able to transfer the world, unless that it was just all a hoax or maybe a miscommunication along the lines. But if we are not able to do that anymore, then that's where it's going to be, well, I guess I'm going to be stuck here forever, because the one bad part about the Xbox One console as it is now is that they're not going to be updating the Xbox One Edition. They're going to keep all their updates onto Bedrock Edition. And it's kind of funny how Xbox 360 has the aquatic update, but not the Xbox One. And I do understand why they wouldn't want to update the Xbox One, but at the same time, I would love it if they did update the Xbox One just to keep up with everything else. But it's just they want everyone from the Xbox One console to already transfer everything onto Bedrock Edition. They want everyone to go to Bedrock Edition. And again, this is where I'm very torn on moving Operation Bedrock onto Bedrock Edition. Is that I already have a copy, an old copy no less. So I could actually showcase that world to show that if you were to be stuck on Classic, it's just going to look ugly. But if I want to do just what Steve has recommended, change it to a small world and then have it expanded, that is the only way for me to do it so far. So I'm very, very torn about this. I don't want to be left behind, but it's just, I just can't bring myself up to do this, to just transfer everything onto Bedrock Edition, because if that were to be the case, it has to be a permanent decision, and then on fourth, I'm going to have to be reminded that it's just not that impressive in that regard in the large scheme of things, that we're just going to have this giant hole in the ground and then everywhere else is that you could explore the land. That's just me. I'm pretty much biased about this because of course I've been working on this for a good 6 years, and now is that sometimes you have to update everything. I just want to keep everything the way it is, but apparently that's not going to be an option now. At least on the bright side, we'll be able to get every single update from then on forth, and then we'll be able to get a stronghold, we'll be able to get an Ender Dragon, and then we'll be able to farm the end in one aspect. That all we have to do is just keep reviving the Ender Dragon over and over and over again. The only bad part is that every death will be permanent, so if I were to mess up along the lines and lose all my stuff, then that is something I'm going to have to deal with. There is not going to be an exit without saving option anymore like we have on console. There's no checkpoints, you can't restart from the last save, so everything is pretty much permanent, which I will have to get used to. It would suck to lose all my tools in one go from getting burned ablazed by everything around me, but it's just more or less that I'm going to have to prepare myself, and I'm going to have to actually be mindful. And there's another point that I didn't think about it until now. Honestly, with the whole Operation Bedrock being on the Xbox One, that means all of our resources are actually limited. That is where a good challenge lies in. And I've been making use of all of the mending books and all of the mending tools so that we wouldn't have to lose all of our resources. But of course, if we were to put it onto Bedrock Edition, that is when everything is just be infinite. There's no risk anymore. If I were to lose all of my diamonds, I'll have to go to another spot, farm the diamonds there, then bring it back over to the Xbox, or not the Xbox, the Operation Bedrock site, and then continue the work from there. It just doesn't, it will not feel the same anymore. That is the reason why, that is the main reason why I just don't want to bring this onto Bedrock Edition, because it just wouldn't feel the same anymore. We will all be tempted to explore the land beyond the walls and then just be distracted. It'll just be more of a distraction. And I know that I'm talking so negative about this, but I want you guys to understand from my perspective of why I can't bring myself up to doing this. I don't mind just keeping a copy onto the Bedrock Edition. I just don't want to play on Bedrock Edition. I really don't. But it's just so difficult because I know that people are going to ask whether or not to actually bring this onto Bedrock Edition. There are a lot of advantages to doing so, but I just can't bring myself to do that. Again, if we are able just to leave it as a classic world of 864 by 864, that we don't have to do any other thing about it, and then we could just continue to work from there, I'm all for it. But from what I've tried to do, or yeah, that's proper grammar if I am not mistaken, what I try to do is that I try to put it onto classic, but it just wouldn't work that way. If anyone could actually help me out with that one, it would just be greatly appreciated. And I've pretty much been repeating myself over and over and over again. Main question: should we actually bring Operation Bedrock onto Bedrock Edition? Let me know in the comment section below. You've already heard my stance on why I don't want to do it, but I want to know from you guys if we should do it, or we should just leave it on the Xbox One and then periodically just keep an updated file onto the Bedrock Edition just in case if we can't do it anymore and if we have to move on. Just pretty much it's gonna be like a backup save. Again, I just want to know from you guys on this topic. That was just a whole main thing about this whole entire video. And I do apologize, I kept rambling on and just repeating myself, but at least I got my thoughts out there. I think I've said everything I need to be or have to have said. I know I can't speak well because it's been a very long day as of this time of this recording, and I am recording this ahead of time so that I could prepare myself for Saturday, which is today, because I'm going to have to work in the previous days and then of course rest up to do a live stream of mining up all the resources we have gone from the East Side project and then get the tools and then probably just update the save file on Bedrock Edition. So far, my decision right now is that I'm going to stay on the Xbox One console. But if I have to go to Bedrock Edition, at least I'll have a copy ready for Bedrock Edition, but I'm just not ready for this yet. But I'm going to have to end it here. I'm just going to keep repeating myself. So you already know what my stance is. I don't want to move on to Bedrock Edition as of now, but let me know in the comment section below. Just what should we do? Should we go to Bedrock Edition? Should we stay on Xbox and save everything onto Bedrock Edition little bit by little bit just to keep the file updated? Or just pretty much continue everything that we have had done on the Xbox One and just move on to Bedrock Edition, and then we're going to see more land across the way, but then we're just going to have this giant hole crater type of deal within the actual world. I just don't know. I legitimately don't know yet, but that's pretty much all I could really say. That's pretty much the whole point of this video, just to update you guys of what's been going on, what we're going to do as a live stream. So if you do have a Twitch account, please follow me on Twitch. It is SwordKing090. Link will be in the description below if I can even talk correctly. But in any case, I'm just going to go along with that. So let's see here. Let us see here. This is going to be the end of this video. So if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to give this video a like. And of course, if you're brand new to the channel and want to see more content in the future, then be sure to subscribe. So this is Operation Bedrock for everyone who is new here, that we have done a lot of mining within the last 3 layers of the world, and we're going to continue on mining what you see on the east side of the map. We're going to do exactly the same thing to the north side, then to the west side, and then to the south side. I don't even know if I'm even looking at the right directions, but you get the idea. But overall, there's going to be a live stream on Twitch, so be sure to follow me on Twitch. It is SwordKing090. So until then, have a great day, everyone. I've been SwordKing090, and as always, I'll see you guys next time in a new video or live stream. And also, have a great day if I haven't said so already.
Forget your last betray. I'll never forget this day.